Recording. Still aboard Morwenna, 7:41. I need to think through what pending means before we do anything else. I need it on tape because if I don't record the reasoning now, I'll reconstruct it later and the reconstruction won't be the same as the original thought. The objective is to determine what 47 Marginal Road's pending status means and whether it requires us to go back. Hannah is below in the cabin. She needed warmth. I told her I'd record and brief her when she came up. She didn't argue. That's the first time since we've been working together that she's deferred something investigative, and I'm noting it because it's a behavioral change, and behavioral changes in this investigation have consistently meant something. What I know about closed: the convergence at 47 Marginal Road completed, the hum stopped, the .0 document updated, status complete. The final document confirmed, investigators 2, 47 Marginal Road, next node, active. I understood closed to mean finished, resolved. The node had done what nodes do, and the record reflected that. The card Hannah read at Rook does not say closed, it says pending. Those are not the same thing. I've been sitting with that for 20 minutes while Hannah warmed up below, and I keep arriving at the same place. The convergence was real. The document updated, the hum stopped. None of that was false. But a convergence completing and a node closing may not be the same event. I assumed they were. The evidence from Season 1, I'm calling it that in my own notes now, the first investigation, 47 Marginal Road, the evidence supported the assumption. The hum stopped. The document said complete. I left. But the Rook record room has a card for 47 Marginal Road, and it says pending. Pending means something is unresolved. Something is waiting. Either the convergence completion didn't close the node, or a node has stages beyond convergence, or pending means something different in the node catalog than I'm reading it as, or the node reopened after I left. I want to think about the 3 status values in sequence. Active means a node is operating, running, available for investigation. The signal is active. The protocol applies, investigators can register and work toward convergence. Rook's status is active. That matches everything we experienced: the signal, the entry window, the descent sessions. Closed means a node has completed its cycle. A. Keller's card reads closed. L. Carter's card reads closed. The 1959 investigator's card reads closed. For investigators, closed means they failed. Convergence attempted alone, record closed, fate uncertain. For a node, I would have assumed closed means the same thing as complete on the .0 document. Cycle ended. Done. Pending. I don't have a prior example for a node in pending status. The investigator cards don't use it. The protocol documents don't reference it. It appeared on one card in the Rook record room, and that card was for the node I spent the better part of a year investigating. Here's what I think pending means. Pending means the node has completed one stage and is waiting to begin the next. Not finished. Staged. The convergence at 47 Marginal Road completed stage 1. Whatever comes after convergence, the next stage of what the node is doing, what it's for, what it eventually produces, that stage hasn't started yet. It's pending, waiting for a condition to be met before it activates. If that's correct, then 47 Marginal Road isn't closed. It's between stages. Hannah came up from the cabin at 7:53. She had a dry jacket on over the wetsuit, and she was holding 2 mugs, and she handed me one and sat down. I told her what I'd been thinking. She listened without interrupting, which is how she listens when she's hearing something she's already partially arrived at herself. When I finished, she said, "The source coordinate." I said, "Yes." She said, "Rook's source coordinate isn't Rook's origin. It's the location that registered Rook into the catalog. The location that holds Rook's card, which means the location that knows Rook exists and tracks its status." I said, "A node that catalogs other nodes." She said, "Yes. And if Rook has a source, 47 Marginal Road has a source too. Every node in that room has a source coordinate. The system has a layer above the nodes we've been investigating, something that tracks them all." I said, the origin site. She looked at me. I said, the season outline. I'm not recording that phrasing. I mean, the direction we've been moving toward the oldest point in the network. Whatever is at the source of Rook is older than Rook. And whatever source 47 Marginal Road points to is the same thing, or points further back toward the same thing. She said, we need the source coordinate for 47 Marginal Road. I said, which means we need to go back to the record room. She said, or we go to 47 Marginal Road and read what changed. I want to record this disagreement carefully because it's the first substantive disagreement we've had about method, and I think both positions have evidence behind them. Hannah's position, 47 Marginal Road is pending. That means it's active in some sense. Something is happening there, or something is waiting to happen there. If we go to the building, we may be able to trigger or observe whatever the next stage is. The building is accessible, we know the layout, we know the protocol, we have the key. Going back is faster than a third Rook descent. My position, we don't know what pending means operationally at the building level. The last time I was at 47 Marginal Road, the hum had stopped, and the document said complete, and there was a padlock on the exterior. Walking back in without understanding the new stage could be walking into a protocol we don't have the documents for. At Rook, we had the Wraith binder. At the second descent, we had the annex. We've had protocol documents for every stage of this investigation. Going to 47 Marginal Road without knowing what pending requires is the first time we'd be approaching a node without preparation. Hannah said, we've been in a pending node for the last 9 hours. We didn't have a document that said pending. We worked from what we found. I said we had the Wraith binder. She said which we found on arrival. We didn't have it before we boarded. That's a fair point, and I'm recording it as a fair point. She said the record room is 30 meters below us and requires a third descent to access. 47 Marginal Road is a 3-hour drive. If the building is in a new stage, we'll know within an hour of arriving. If it's not, we drive back and plan the third descent. I said, and if the building is in a new stage and we're unprepared for it? She said, then we document what we find and come back with better preparation. That's also a fair point. I looked at her for a moment. She was holding her mug and looking at the water, and I had the strong impression she already knew which direction we were going. The same impression I have intermittently throughout this investigation, that Hannah is navigating and I am arriving at conclusions she reached earlier and chose not to state until I caught up. I said, you think the building will have the document? She said, I think the building is the document. We are preparing to lift anchor. I did one more thing before we started the engine. I took the Wraith binder back to the lantern housing panel and replaced it in the compartment and closed the panel. It belongs on this vessel. We have photographs of the relevant pages. The binder stays with Morwenna. The signal is still running at 11-second single pulse as we begin moving. I'm looking back at the coordinate as Morwenna turns. The water surface is flat there, not the defined circle from earlier, not a node-generated boundary, just a patch of water that looks the same as the water around it. 50 meters below the surface, 30 meters below that, a boundary layer. Below the boundary, a room full of cards. The Rook card in that room still says active. Ours says pending. Hannah is at the helm. I can hear the engine note change as she brings the bow around. She knows the harbor approach. She came out of the companionway on first boarding the same way she's taking the helm now, without checking anything, without orienting herself. She has been here before, and I am not asking about it yet. 3 hours to 47 Marginal Road. I'm going below to sleep while I can. The padlock. I just thought of it. The municipal padlock on the exterior when I last visited the building was sealed. I still have the key labeled 47 in my pocket. I need to find out if the padlock...